lot of this depends on where you live. So my combatives curriculum is designed around the UK where I live, and under UK law we cannot carry anything for the purpose of a weapon. We cannot even carry a chemical irritant, no less than lethal alternatives, no pepper spray, nothing. They're even trying to outlaw weapons that are made for self-protection, such as a tactical flashlight or a tactical pen. In terms of the first primary thing to understand is that your main weapon is your brain. You have to have the willingness to engage should you need to. Then you need to understand how to use your natural bodily weapons. So from your fingertip to your elbow is a Leatherman, it's a multi-tool, you know, and you have two of them. And from your knee to your boot is also the similar, and you have two of those. You need to learn how to use your natural bodily weapons. Improvised weapons or a weapon of opportunity is also taught as an extension, but I do not encourage students to arm themselves in terms of living in a country where that's illegal. Of course, I teach in the US, I teach in Czech Republic, I teach in Russia, South Africa, where the rules are very different. And in which case there, the primary for them would be less than lethal weapons, such as pepper spray, chemical irritant, maybe a taser, maybe a baton, etc., right up to edge weapon, impact weapon, or a firearm. It really is dependent on where you live. My thinking with MMA, particularly, the main thing I like about MMA is that they're not training for an event, they are doing the event. They are pressure testing everything they do in front of another combative man. So it's mano a mano. So you're learning to punch, strike, kick, grapple very effectively at these different ranges that construe to the sport against a person who is maximally resisting you, is totally non-compliant. I think that's one of the major benefits of MMA. You are fighting. There is resistance, and I think that is something that nearly all traditional martial arts are missing. Maybe not the original, karate, the way it was trained originally was tested this way, but for commercialism, the traditional martial arts are very diluted, right to the point where they are punching air, they are not hitting anything impactive, and they're certainly not hitting each other, not in all branches of traditional martial art. So I think the thing that gives the MMA fighter the massive advantage, possibly even in the street, is they are used to getting hit, and they are used to hitting hard. They are used to getting manhandled and manhandling others. That's a massive advantage for the street. The negative part of that, taken into a street context, would be that they are confined by their own rules, and what they practice most is what they will do. So if you have a particularly good grappler who would seek in the nightclub to take the guy to the ground because that's where he knows he can dominate, he's not taking into account that he's in a very, very different arena. You know, going to the ground in a street is very foolhardy because, of multiple assailants, possibility of weapons. The environment is very different. The floor is very unforgiving. And even in a stand-up sense, a good Thai boxer has a really good chance of dealing with most problems in the street, but doesn't take into account the elements of the street. So you have even no holds barred, the original Vale Tudo. There was rules. There's no eye attacks, no groin attacks, no throat attacks. You can't ballistically break small joints. You can't introduce a weapon. You can't use deception. I can't get my friends to help me. So if you look at the rules or fouls in MMA, there's many. And if you look at the rules in the street, there's none. So I think an MMA fighter is a warrior, and they're in great physical condition. If an MMA fighter has understanding of the street also, he's a very dangerous animal. But if it's somebody that has had no real experience of violence other than combat sport, I think that quite a lot of them could be in for a shock when it comes to dealing with real violence in the street, because it's a different arena. It's, my arena is the pavement. The pavement arena is my arena. So I know where I belong. I wouldn't go into a cage fight and fight somebody on their rules, because I probably wouldn't do as well. But I don't fight with rules, so in the same vein, I'd have no problem dealing with an MMA fighter in the street. In fact, I would rather deal with an MMA fighter in the street than a dangerous criminal, because an MMA fighter will have some code, some moral boundaries. So if he knocked me unconscious, he would probably put me in a recovery position and call me an ambulance. Whereas fighting the guy in the street who just stabbed me with a screwdriver will probably film it on his phone and show it to his friends. So there's pros and there's cons, but as combative ability goes, MMA fighters are warriors. You know, they're great. I think if they have a combination of what they do and a good understanding of the street, they're formidable. Yeah.